You get everything for just $99 plus shipping. That's less than $1 a book. Order now and you'll also get 50 great classical music performances preloaded on the player. You're fully protected by our lifetime guarantee. If you are ever dissatisfied, get a complete refund, no questions asked. Call toll-free right now and order your library of classics.
1-800-721-4289. 1-800-721-4289. That's 1-800-721-4289.
This is a special report from News Radio 1020 KDKA.
CBS News Special Report. I'm Jim Taylor. Massacre at an elementary school. At least 26 people killed by a lone gunman.
There were 18 children that were pronounced dead at the school. There were 2 that were transported to area hospitals and pronounced dead at area hospitals. And there were 6 adults pronounced dead at the scene at the school.
As Lieutenant Paul Vance, Connecticut State Police, it happened in rural Newtown, an emotional President Obama reacting.
Our hearts are broken today.
20 of those killed, children between 5 and 10 years old.
They had their entire lives ahead of them. Birthdays, graduations, weddings, kids of their own.
First identified as 24-year-old Ryan Lanza, now some confusion with his brother, who is talking with police. Lanza entering the Connecticut classroom, police say, where his mother was a teacher. They say he shot and killed her and executed 18 of her young students, then shot and killed more teaching staff.
Among the fallen were also teachers, men and women who devoted their lives to helping our children fulfill their dreams.
The president expressing his sympathies for the families of those killed, but also, he says, for the families of the children who survived today's horror.
Their children's innocence has been torn away from them too early, and there are no words that will ease their pain.
The suspected shooter found dead at the school, officials say by his own hand. Another body found in a nearby home connected to his family. Flags at federal buildings are flying at half-staff. CBS News Special Report. I'm Jim Taylor.
351 News Radio 1020 KDKA. A check on your money now from Heffron Tillotson with Maggie Canan.
Thanks, Bill. The U.S. stock market remains on fiscal cliff watch. Stocks slid modestly today as investors fixated on the lack of a federal government budget deal and seemed to ignore upbeat economic reports in the U.S. and China. One such report showed U.S. industrial production climbing 1.1% in November as manufacturing picked up in the wake of Hurricane Sandy. Retail sales rose 0.3% in November, as reported by the Commerce Department. Consumer spending accounts for as much as 70% of the U.S. economy. Oil is up 88 cents to 86.77 a barrel. Yield on the 10-year Treasury is at 1.71%. Near the market close, the Dow is lower by 35 points to 13,135. The S&P is down 5, NASDAQ down 21. In stocks of local interest, Marathon Oil up 65 cents to $30.84 a share. Mylan Labs down a nickel to 28.02. We check your money at 20 and 50 past the hour. From the Greensburg office of Heffron Tillotson, this is Maggie Canan for News Radio 1020 KDKA.
352 News Radio 1020 KDKA. Let's check the headlines with Joe.
Yeah, Bill, we're following the latest information, of course, out of Connecticut, and the numbers just given to us by state police, total 27, including the gunman whose body was found inside that Sandy Hook Elementary. We'll have the latest on that. KDKA's Barbara Boylan has an angle about talking to your small children about what happened today. And Keith James reporting on U.S. Senator Bob Casey today. There is some new information coming out on the Legionnaire's disease outbreak at the VA. All of that coming up at the top of the hour here on News Radio 1020 KDKA.
Value means more each and every day. Make it easy at Tom Clark Chevrolet.
How do they make it easy? Well, a lot of car dealers talk about employee pricing. A lot of car dealers talk about invoice. If you want world-class treatment and straight talk, come to Tom Clark Chevrolet, conveniently located on Route 48 in McKeesport. Chevy's Giving More event going on now at Tom Clark Chevrolet. More savings, more cash back, and more great deals. There's Silverado, the longest-lasting, most dependable truck on the road. You can lease a 2013 Chevy Malibu as low as $139 a month, or lease a 2013 Chevy Equinox as low as $139 a month. At Tom Clark Chevy, they treat you with respect. They appreciate your business, and you'll drive home in a beautiful new or pre-owned car that you got at a great price. Call them today, 412-751-2900, or visit the 24-hour showroom at TomClarkChevrolet.com. Chevy runs deep.
Value means more each and every day. We make it easy at Tom Clark Chevrolet.
See dealer for details. Getting
Shopping gifts for the sports fan in your life has never been easier this holiday season thanks to CBS Locals Fan Shop. We've got the jerseys and gear for almost every team in any sport. And if you visit CBS Locals Fan Shop today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more from CBS Locals Fan Shop.
Have you heard? Proactive is better than ever. Stay tuned for a 1,000,000 bottle giveaway, and you'll also receive free shipping. Do you have troubled skin, acne? Well, we have great news. With Proactive, your acne can heal, and you can prevent new breakouts from happening. Don't miss this limited time offer. Give us a call at 1-800-533-3091, because we're going to let 1,000,000 people try Proactive risk-free, get 2 free gifts, and also receive free shipping when you call right now. You heard it. This offer won't last long, so call Proactive now and you'll receive a 60-day risk-free trial of Proactive, 2 free extras, and free shipping. Call 1-800-533-3091. This is our best radio offer ever. Get your risk-free 60-day trial of Proactive plus free shipping. That's right, free shipping. Don't wait. Visit getproactive.com or call 1-800-533-3091. That's 1-800-533-3091.
3:55 News Radio 1020 KDKA. Traffic and weather every 10 minutes. Here's Bonnie Diver.
I have another one. Parkway North inbound. Big accident right around Bellevue, and they've got the left lane that is blocked off, and it looks like it's quite a mess on that one. Lots of emergency vehicles, so that's a tough one. On the Parkway East outbound at Grant Street, that's where they had that earlier accident. Traffic's moving through on the Parkway East, but it looks like the Grant ramp is closed off right now, and so they're redirecting traffic. Now, if you're trying to get to the Parkway East, because of that delay right there, it's really jammed up still on the North Shore Express coming from the Parkway North, heading over to the Fort Duquesne Bridge. That is totally a jam up. Your next AAA traffic update at 4:05. This report brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts and the PennDOT Information Center. Bonnie Diver, Pittsburgh's official traffic station, News Radio 1020 KDKA.
Skies will cloud over tonight with a low of 30 degrees. More clouds tomorrow, 50 for the high. A couple of showers on Sunday with a high of 54 and a chance of rain Monday, high again in the mid-50s.
Do you suffer from pain like joint pain, muscle pain, back pain, or painful arthritis? Then you must listen to this important message. Anatoblock is a breakthrough supplement scientifically proven to quickly and effectively reduce inflammation and get rid of pain. Anatoblock is so effective, we guarantee you'll feel a significant difference in just a few days. Best of all, Anatoblock is now available to try for free. That's right. Call 800-651-6059 now and get out of pain absolutely free. Call today, 800-651-6059.
49 flavored coffees and lattes. Who's watching your home when you're not there? It could be a burglar. Burglars prefer to break in when they think no one's home, and no one will stop them. Don't be an easy target for intruders. Protect your home with a free security system monitored by ADT, the leader in home security. Call now and get free hardware, free medical and fire alert, and free activation. It's an $850 value. Call right now and you'll also get 6 free sensors. That's 6 points of protection for free. Just call Protect Your Home, your authorized ADT dealer at 1-800-317-1569. You'll get 24-hour protection, and there's no cost for parts or activation. Call now about a free security system monitored by ADT. Call 1-800-317-1569. $99 installation charge, 36-month monitoring agreement at $35.99 per month. Total package includes 6-door window sensors. Labor charges may apply. Call for terms and conditions to this offer and protect your home license numbers. Call now, 1-800-317-1569.
This is Katie, more than 350, I'm told.
Hey, and all the good models like Kia Soul. Most dealers have 5 or 6. We have 62.
Holy smoke.
Hey, that's nothing. We have 71 Optimas, 96 Sorrentos, 3 dozen Sportages.
And Katie, the key now is to move them out as fast as they came in. So what can I expect to pay for that new 2013 Kia Optima?
We have a no games price that includes the 6-speed Sportmatic. When you add all the new incentives, it's right around $19,400.
And Kia has a great military incentive program.
They do. Anyone who is active duty or who has ever received an honorable discharge can qualify.
And of course, you get Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty, plus Jim Shorkey's lifetime powertrain warranty. Click on JimShorkey.com or just visit Jim Shorkey Kia, Route 30 in North Huntington. Now also Route 51 in Uniontown. What a great day.
Our continuing coverage of the shooting in a school in Newtown, Connecticut continues here on KDK. We've got the news with Joe coming up in just a second. But again, 27 people dead. That includes 18 children killed at the school. We also had 2 who died at the hospital, 6 adults killed at the scene, and the shooter who took his own life. And again, that's 27. There is another body at a home that is the home of a family member of the alleged shooter. That person also dead, and there are also reports that the girlfriend of the shooter may be missing at this time. Obviously, a developing story. We'll continue to follow it for you all afternoon on News Radio 1020 KDKA. Thanks for joining us. It's 4 o'clock.
From the Lexus of North Hills Studios, this is the voice of Pittsburgh. News on KDKA now.
It's 48 degrees at 4 o'clock. I'm Joe DiStio. Police have now confirmed the numbers from the elementary school shooting this morning in Newtown, Connecticut. State Police Lieutenant Paul Vance spoke to reporters just moments ago.
There were 18 children that were pronounced dead at the school. There were 2 that were transported to area hospitals and pronounced dead at area hospitals. And there were 6 adults pronounced dead at the scene at the school. As the governor has reported, the shooter is deceased. He's deceased in the school.
We also heard from the governor of Connecticut, Dan Malloy, who's at the scene.
What has happened, what has transpired at that school building will leave a mark on this community and every family impacted.
The gunman had been originally identified as 24-year-old Ryan Lanza, but there now seems to be confusion and question about that name and if it was confused with his brother. Police found 2 semi-automatic handguns with the body of the gunman. There was a 3rd weapon in his vehicle at the school. We also understand Lanza's brother had been detained. No word of any charges against him at this point. Another body found at a nearby home connected to the Lanza family. Of course, anxious parents gathered their children at Sandy Hook Elementary, like Melissa Makris.
You just run in, and I'm just scanning this very crowded room, and I spotted his teacher, and then I saw that little face looking up at me, and it was the best thing a mom can see.
President Obama spoke to the nation last hour, saying the children of that elementary school are the nation's children. He said the country has to take action to prevent this kind of tragedy from happening again. What do you tell your children about something like the school shooting in Connecticut? KDKA's Barbara Boylan reports that help today is available.
Therese Vorshak is director of Highmark's Caring Place.
We're definitely a resource in the community to help, whether it's parents or school personnel or really anybody in the community, help to know how to talk to children about that.
She says there are brochures available on their website, thehighmarkcaringplace.com, that can help parents find the right approach. She says the best thing is to reassure children that everyone will do their best to protect them and point out that nothing like this has ever happened at their school. Barbara Boylan, News Radio 1020, KDKA.
In other news this afternoon, Pennsylvania Senator Bob Casey held a press conference this afternoon talking about how the Veterans Affairs Department handled the outbreak of Legionnaire's disease at the Oakland VA. KDKA's Keith James was there.
Senator Casey was adamant in pushing for an investigation into the Legionnaire's situation at the Oakland facility. Casey was unhappy with a lack of response to repeated efforts to get clear information from the VA. The senator sent a strong letter to the Office of Inspector General of the VA, and in one bullet point, asked if the Pittsburgh VA healthcare system was adequately maintaining their water treatment system. Keith James, News Radio 1020, KDKA.
Police are still searching for the driver of a hit-and-run vehicle that struck a woman this morning in Oakland. She was reported in critical condition, rushed to the hospital. This happened near the intersection of Bates and Atwood. Police say the car is a dark or black Chevy Cobalt with front end damage. On Wall Street, Heffron Tillotson at the close says the Dow Industrial's down 50 points, standing at 13,120. The NASDAQ was off 23. The news is brought to you by Woltz & Wynn Ford and Washington Ford and by Joseph A. Bank. AAA Traffic and AccuWeather together coming up.
In case you haven't heard, Esurance wants to save you money on car insurance. It's also longing to save you money, and wishing and yearning and thinking it might be a nice idea to save you money. That's because Esurance was built to save you money. You know, cash, or clams, or greenbacks, sawbucks, simoleons, bits, chips, or scratch. Whatever you call it, you just might save it. That's insurance for the modern world. Esurance. Now, backed by Allstate. Click or call.
Visit esurance.com or call 1-800-ESURANCE for a quote. Not available in all states. Savings may vary.
The craving for chocolate is all grown up.
That's Jared.
Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry, presents Levion Chocolate Diamonds and Chocolate Cultured South Sea Pearls. From ancient royalty to today's red carpet, Levion is the only company on Earth to make jewelry with chocolate diamonds, including exclusive designs you'll only find at Jared.
It can only be Jared.
Find a Jared store or shop anytime at jared.com.
This is Mike Pinsek. You know, I've been telling you for quite a while that Matthews Wall Anchor Service is the best at foundation repair. But did you know they're also the best company to call for waterproofing? Well, in fact, they are. Matthews has waterproofed thousands of homes in our area, thousands of satisfied customers. So if you've got dampness, seepage, or worse yet, standing water, Matthews has state-of-the-art systems to keep your basement dry, and they guarantee it dry. Bud specializes in basement waterproofing, and regardless of the construction of your basement, finished or unfinished, Matthews can design and install a waterproofing system that will permanently dry up that wet basement. You know what they say? That once it leaks, it'll leak again? Hey, it's true. Unless you call Matthews Wall Anchor Service. They'll show you a better way. Call Bud today for a free consultation and an estimate at 800-284-7471. That's 800-284-7471. Don't wait. Call Matthews today or MatthewsWallAnchor.com.
Matthews Wall Anchor Service will get you out of the fix you're in.
Morgantown.
KDKA traffic and weather together every 10 minutes.
405 KDKA all day. AAA traffic powered by Bowser Buick and Bonnie Diver.
Have that accident Parkway North now. It's on the outbound side at Bellevue. The right lane slowly gets by, and that's quite a mess. They've got a lot to clean up. So it's slow from the East Street Valley. Slowdowns also really heavy on the Parkway North inbound to the North Shore Express heading to the Fort Duquesne Bridge from this earlier accident that was on the Parkway East at Grant. That's moving through again, but the Grant Street ramp still looks like that's blocked off with the cleanup from that accident. Also, we have an accident on the Parkway East ramp from Edgewood, and that is on the far right side. Everybody's slowing down to check it out right out of the tunnels. Your next AAA traffic update, 405 in the PennDOT Information Center. Bonnie Diver, Pittsburgh's official traffic station, News Radio 1020 KDKA.
Plenty of sunshine this afternoon, a high of 50. For tonight, clear much of the time, but clouding up toward morning, a low of 30. And then tomorrow, thickening clouds and mild with a high of 50. Sunday will be mostly cloudy, breezy, mild, a couple of showers, and a high 54. Rocky weather on meteorologist Dave Bowers on News Radio 1020 KDKA.
48 degrees at Pittsburgh International.
This line got big.
Getting gifts for the sports fan in your life has never been easier this holiday season thanks to CBS Locals Fan Shop. We've got the jerseys and gear for almost every team in any sport. And if you visit CBS Locals Fan Shop today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more from CBS Locals Fan Shop.
If you have bad credit, you're not alone. Did you know that as much as 79% of all credit reports contain errors and incorrect information? Having great credit is more important than ever. Let nationally recognized credit expert Jason M. Kaplan help. Jason and his team of FICO experts will give you a free consultation and discuss how they can get your credit life back on track. Call 877-731-0082 for your free credit consultation and analysis. There's no upfront fees, and you only pay for results. Call the credit pros now at 877-731-0082.
Every afternoon, Pittsburgh drives home with Bill Rakoff on the KDKA Afternoon News.
Continuing coverage of the school shooting in Newtown, Connecticut today. A total of 27 people are dead that we know of, perhaps 28 at an off-site location. We're going to have more on that coming up in just a minute. Of the dead, 18 of them died at the scene, children. 2 of them died at the hospital. And the absolutely unthinkable. And when the unthinkable happens, particularly to children, you wonder how you deal with it with your own children. Joining us on the 84 Lumber Project Professionals Newsline is psychologist Dr. Kevin Elko, who's been a frequent guest on the station. Dr. Elko, thanks for your time. Welcome back to KDKA.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
So what do you tell your kids? I mean, this is in a day and age of social media. It's so hard to shield our kids from bad news anymore. When I go home tonight, I think the first thing I'm probably going to do is cry and then probably hug them. But then they're going to have some questions. And how do you talk to them?
Bill, I read an excellent story by the poet Emerson last night while his son was trying to get this calf in a barn. He was fighting with it and wrestling with it. He couldn't get in. He gave up. So this servant girl came by, a little Irish girl, and she put her finger in the calf's mouth. And the calf associated her finger with the calf's mother's comfort. and falter into the barn. That's sort of what you do here. The first thing you do is you acknowledge to your child it's okay to be afraid. And you tell them how you felt afraid. That it's not awful to be afraid. There are things in this world to be afraid of, that afraid has a purpose. And then you tell them how you were afraid earlier and how you overcame it. And how, as a parent, you have choices to make and you just choose to have faith. And you just choose to believe in the world and people. And unfortunately, things like this do happen. But you just tell them, I have felt that way before. You let them feel understood. You let them feel comfort. And then you tell them how you overcame your fear yourself. I felt that way before. Honey, can I tell you what I found? That's what you do with your child.
Dr. Elko, when I grew up, the tragedies I remember, the assassinations of RFK and Martin Luther King. I remember Reagan being shot. I remember other tragedies like the Olympics and things like that. I don't remember tragedies like this involving children. That's a different dynamic these kids today have to face.
I was sitting at Stoughton Clinic when I used to work out there with psychiatrists, psychologists, very, very educated people. We were trying to explain to ourselves Oklahoma City and that bombing and the killing of children. And after our discussion, we just concluded there's evil in the world, Bill. And you have to pay attention. You have to pray for your children's protection. But there's no other explanation that you'll ever come up with. And so it is growing. We have to protect our children the best we can. And then what we also have to do, my mother has cancer, and she asked me the other day, Kevin, what kind of mother was I? I go, Mom, there was a little girl who got hit by a school bus and killed. And you told me you will not see me for 3 days. I'm going to sit by her mother. We have to also teach our children how to have a compassionate heart and how to help to have a compassionate heart. So you use this bill to say, you know what, we are going to do a kind act. We are going to do a kind act in the name of what happened. Because you take this as opportunity is not the right word. I just can't find a better one. Mm-hmm. But to your point, these things happen. And, Bill, we could sit here and debate it intellectually all we want. It's just evil. That's what it comes down to.
Dr. Kevin Elko, we appreciate your input as always, and I'm sure we're going to lean on you again here in the next few days as people are working through this. But thanks for your time, and best of luck with you and your mom.
Thank you for serving our city like you guys always do. You guys are wonderful, KDKA.
It's 4:12 on the KDKA Afternoon News. In studio, we have Sam Rosenberg with us, who's the president of Impacts, which is a crisis management education resource for not only schools but government agencies, businesses. Also joining us in the studio is Lou Gentile, who's the president of CSI Investigators. Gentlemen, both of you, again, welcome back. Sam, I want to ask you, you said something last time when we were talking about the percentage of the time that police officers can get to these things on time. Most of the time, by the time police get there, it's over. And so teachers and staff have to be trained where you come in, but you had some insight into that.
That's exactly it. In the Secret Service, the Secret Service actually estimates that in over 50% of the time, the faculties of the schools are the first responders. That, they're well in advance, obviously, of law enforcement response, and these situations are brought to a close before law enforcement response. This was actually the information that predicated me developing the program that we deliver to schools and faculties and educators. Basically, what we wanted to do was try and arm teachers with some education and some skill sets that will allow them to fill that void between intruder alert and law enforcement response with a little more efficiency. Give them some skills, because if they're getting the job done 50% of the time or more now without any skill, imagine what they can do if they're well trained and they know exactly how to respond in an efficient manner.
All right, Sam, we're going to come back to you with more about that. In the meantime, I want to bring Lou in, who just came in. Lou, thanks for coming in today. First of all, your initial reaction to what happened today.
I am so mad that it's difficult for me to be here, quite frankly. I was in Cleveland with a client. I was driving in, and I heard this, and I am so overwhelmed with anger. Because of what's happened, and anger, and I don't even know who to target that anger towards. When I look at the big picture, when I look at things that we can't do, I've seen things like this, not exactly like this, in the military and in law enforcement, 27 years of it. I won't bore you with the details. But when I look at the big picture and I see the lack of social services and the lack of mental health available, not only evidenced by what happened today, but by evidence of the tragic Green Beret who committed suicide. When I look at the issues as far as jobs, and I look at issues as far as access to guns, those are issues. Those are the big issues that politicians go back and forth, and it gives them great fodder, and quite frankly, not much gets done. But when I look at the things that we can do, and things like Sam and I have talked about time after time after time, the ability for every property owner, every school, every entity that has the obligation of protecting its people to do something to protect its people, and the fact that so many organizations have failed to do so. And this is not a criticism on what has or has not been done in that school, but looking at the big picture, when you look at what's happened, we've had this. We have to think about the unthinkable. That's our job. Parents have to think about the unthinkable. I was just talking to a great friend of mine, his wife, talking about Hanukkah and talking about how I have to somehow, instill in my grandchildren that there still is evil in the world. Mm-hmm. And we talked about that over a book we read concerning Auschwitz. But the fact of the matter is that people have to recognize the fact that everything virtually could have been preventable. If people would just take advantage of the ability to be able to install some sort of protection from the most minute things to the things that Sam is talking about. You can't do it with one. You can't do it in one approach. It has to be a holistic approach. And so when I look at these schools that have these flimsy buzzers on the door, and people can get in and people can tailgate, and when I look at school boards who the first thing that they cut is security because of budget crisis, not thinking that the unthinkable will happen. You know what, Bill? It gets me mad.
And we'll talk more about that later on, and I want to talk about your investigative background as we go through the afternoon, too. But we appreciate Lou Gentile from CSI Investigations, and, of course, Sam Rosenberg from Impacts with us here in the studio as our continuing coverage rolls on into the Connecticut school shootings. 4:16, a little late for traffic and weather together. We do it every 10 minutes. Here's Bonnie Diver.
Have an accident Parkway North, and that's right around Bellevue. The far right lane only gets past this. It's quite a mess. So heavy delays out of the East Street. Slowdowns also from the earlier accident they had on the Grant Street ramp for outbound Parkway East. It looks like they're opening up the ramp again now, and Parkway East is open up there as well. However, we've got heavy delays heading from the Parkway North to the North Shore Express, heading over to the Fort Duquesne Bridge. They just cleared the accident Parkway East at Edgewood. Your next AAA traffic update, 425 in the PennDOT Information Center. Bonnie Diver, Pittsburgh's official traffic station, News Radio 1020 KDKA.
And we're going to get into this as the afternoon goes on, too. Obviously, there are facts that get changed around. Now we understand the name of the shooter may be Adam Lanza, Ryan Lanza being the brother of the person who was involved. We'll keep you posted. Clouds tonight with a low of 30 degrees. More clouds through the weekend with highs in the low to mid-50s. 48 now, KDKA News Time, 417. 418 News Radio 1020 KDKA Sports. Jeff Hathorn now from Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
Armani Ford with 2 touchdowns as Clareton won their 63rd straight game and Class A title. 20-0 win over Dunmore. North Allegheny and Aliquippa will play tomorrow. Steelers corner Cortez Allen likely won't play Sunday in Dallas. He's listed as doubtful. All others, including James Harrison, Troy Polamalu, Lamar Woodley, are probable for the 4:25 kick on KDKA TV. Pitt senior Ryan Turnley to play in the Shrine game. Pitt basketball home to Bethune-Cookman tomorrow at 7 over on The Fan. Pirate Fest all weekend. Second baseman Neil Walker tells us as he heads into arbitration.
I don't think there's a better fit for me than this organization. I'm the longest tenured guy in this organization. What better guy to have here for a long TV than me, because I grew up here.
The Sports Desk is brought to you by Consolidated Communications. If price matters to you, check out Consolidated Communications for TV and internet service. Jeff Hathorn, News Radio 1020, KDKA Sports.
The voices of shale energy. My name is Nathan Bennett. I'm a geologist and a regulatory supervisor working with the shale energy industry in Williamsport, PA. When I tell people that, they say, "So you're the guy whose job it is to protect our water." Actually, in shale operations like the one around Williamsport, there are literally hundreds of trained professionals working to keep the process safe and the water protected. That means everything from encasing our wells in multiple layers of steel and cement to monitoring the water we use when drilling for oil and natural gas. As a proud fourth-generation Pennsylvanian, those are the sort of fact-based reassurances I know I'd want to hear. And as someone employed by the oil and natural gas industry, those are the answers I'm committed to sharing. The way I see it, my job to protect the water and the environment is simply too important not to get right.
Learn more about Shale Energy at energyfromshale.org. Shale, the energy to do it right. Paid for by the American Petroleum Institute.
Innovation that excites.
420 News Radio 1020 KDKA. Time to check business news. Here is Tom Busby from CNBC.
Thanks, Bill. Stocks not only ending lower today, but down for the week, despite some pretty good economic news, like inflation. That remains in check. Consumer prices fell 0.3% in November, mostly on a big decline in the price of gas. In fact, it was the steepest one-month drop at the pump in nearly 4 years last month. Also, manufacturing up more than 1% in November, with U.S. automakers churning out a whole lot more new cars and trucks. Manufacturing in China was also higher in November. That positive news sent oil prices up nearly $1 a barrel just today. And shares of Apple down almost 4%. That's after UBS lowered its target price for the stock, and on reports of a cool reception to the iPhone 5 over in China and a cutback in orders to suppliers as Apple moves to clear out inventories of some of those unsold iPhones and iPads. We check your money at 20 and 50 after the hour. From CNBC, I'm Tom Busby on News Radio 1020 KDKA.
421 at News Radio 1020 KDKA. Let's get the latest headlines. Here's Joe DeSteel.
Yeah, Bill, there are 26 victims from the mass shooting at an elementary school in Connecticut, 20 of them children, 6 adults, and the gunman. There's also been confusion about that gunman's name, first reported to be Ryan Lanza. CBS now says it is his brother, Adam Lanza. President Obama says the nation has to do something to prevent these shootings from happening. We'll hear from the president. And Barbara Boylan reports on Catholic Bishop David Zubik speaking out to KDKA on the violence. Details at 4:30 here on News Radio 1020 KDKA.
Maxine checking in at Dollar Bank Instant Access at KDKA.com. Your speakers are correct. There are people who have mental issues that have not addressed in the new medical mainstream, but there is also evil, and this develops into tragedies you can weigh in too as well. The KDK Dollar Bank Instant Access will try to get to these as we get through the day. 422, we'll have more of the continuing coverage of the school shooting in Connecticut in just a moment.
Introducing a faster way to push to talk. AT&T Enhanced Push to Talk. AT&T delivers more of what your business needs. Instant communication, up to 1,000 contacts, plus a broad array of devices and platforms. Visit att.com/enhancedptt3 to get your business started with a free Samsung Rugby Pro. You push to talk, we pushed it further. AT&T, rethink possible.
Limited time offer. Free phone on new activations only. Requires 2-year commitment to eligible voice and data plans plus activation of AT&T Enhanced Push to Talk service.
If you've been thinking about stopping smoking, maybe losing weight, or even getting control over panic attacks, stop thinking about it and go see Dr. Bill Stiles, Master Hypnotist.
You know, every day I hear someone say, Dr. Stiles, I've been thinking about going to see you for years. Sometimes it's when I'm simply at a retail store, but also it's when they finally come in and then they add, and I'm really glad I came to see you. Now here's the question. Are you still putting up with the same problem of excess weight, or still smoking, or putting up with panic attacks, anxieties, fears, phobias, and other persistent issues? Well, I'm the guy that can help you. Just take the time and call. No pressure from my people. Just talk to them. Stop thinking about it and do it. 724-940-2211.
One mind, one body. Take control.
Know why I pulled you over, ma'am?
I'm sorry, officer. I know I was speeding, but...
No buts about it, ma'am.
But it's Sears one-day sale.
Seriously? Follow me!
Whatever it takes. Get to Sears one-day sale with Friday Preview. Find great gift deals like up to 50% off all mechanics tool sets. Deals for the family starting at $14.99. This is how to gift. This is Sears. Plus, members can get $10 in Shop Your Way points when you spend $50 or more. Members earn points on qualifying purchases. Subject to full program terms available at shopyourway.com. Exclusions apply. See store for details. Prices may vary in Alaska, Hawaii, Puerto Rico. Offer ends 12/8/12.
Want a great deal? Log on now to KDKA.com for KDKA's local offers. Today's offers: a $50 gift certificate for just $25 from Stonewater Salon and Spa in the South Hills. New salon customers, if you haven't tried Avita Color, now is the time with this $50 certificate good towards any Avita Color service for any salon or spa service at Stonewater. Log on to KDKA.com for our great local offers from KDKA.
The voices of Shell Energy. My name is Chad Dean, and I'm a project supervisor in the oil and natural gas industry in Salina, Texas. In Salina, you can see the benefits that Shell Energy brings every day. The new jobs, the new hope, the commitment to safety our industry's made in accessing that energy. I can only speak for my hometown, but I know when I tell folks what we do, that men and women like me are out there monitoring and testing well sites to ensure they meet strict local safety standards, it puts their minds at ease. I like to remind folks that I live here too. My wife works as a nurse. My kids go to school with their kids. I know that by doing our job right, safely and responsibly, we're helping the people I call family and friends. And that's something I take very seriously. Hear the stories of Salina and other Shell Energy towns at energyfromshale.org. Shell, the energy to do it right. Paid for by the American Petroleum Institute.
425 News Radio 1020 KDKA. Time for traffic and weather every 10 minutes. Here's Bonnie Diver.
Well, really heavy there on the approach to try to get down to the city from the Parkway North. Had that earlier accident at Grant. That's all opened up again, including the Grant ramp heading to outbound Parkway East. But we've got slowdowns on the Parkway North, North Shore Express, Fort Duquesne Bridge, 60 totally jammed up on the inbound side from about the West End Bridge, trying to get in that area. Slowdowns on the Parkway North outbound from well before the Venture Street area because of an accident at Bellevue. And they're finally trying to open up the lanes there. Your next AAA traffic update, 4:35. This report brought to you by Panera Bread and the Penn Information Center. Bonnie Diver, Pittsburgh's official traffic station, News Radio 1020 KDKA.
Clouds will build in tonight with a low of 30. Then for tomorrow, more clouds and 50 degrees. Chance of rain Sunday, the high 54. It's 48 at Pittsburgh International. KDKA News Time, 426.
Wake up to the new ham and Gruyere breakfast sandwich at Panera Bread. It's freshly cracked eggs, smoked ham, white cheddar, and Gruyere, all grilled on their freshly baked soft roll. Try one this morning at your neighborhood Panera Bread.
426 News Radio 1020 KDKA. Joining me in the studio to talk about today's shooting at the school in Newtown, Connecticut, we have Sam Rosenberger, who's the president of Impacts, and Lou Gentile of CSI Investigations. Impacts is a company that does crisis management training for a number of agencies, but schools as well. And I know it's early, Sam, and I almost hate to ask the question, but based on everything you've seen and you've heard today, have you identified any kind of points at all that you think some training might have helped?
You know, it's in these situations, you know, we have to understand that we're dealing with a situation where there are always going to be some similarities from these school shootings, workplace shootings, terrorist incidents. They're all very similar in many ways. You know, to me, it's all terrorism. When you break it down and you start to look at the underlying motivations and all these types of dynamics, it always comes down to the same functional things. And, you know, one of the things that I just want to get out here and just make sure we understand is that, in my opinion, and I've been saying this for years, one of the biggest dynamics here when, you know, we hear President Obama say we need to, you know, get together and do have some kind of meaningful discussion over this. One of the things that we routinely discuss, or that I routinely discuss, is this dynamic that media notoriety is the fuel that flames these issues. And this is one of the underlying dynamics. And I couldn't agree more with Lou that, you know, we have to secure our schools and that, you know, organizations have to start taking security seriously. But this media notoriety dynamic is a very important one to start to consider.
And that's made all the more difficult, would you say, by social media now, not just the mainstream media, if you want to put it that way?
It absolutely is. And we saw some positive traction after the Aurora shooting where there was a movement on Twitter not to mention the shooter's name. And I think this is a very important dynamic because, you know, these people that will and I use that term loosely, that would commit such an atrocity as what we saw here, they're mad and they want everybody to know about it. And the dynamic here is that if you remove the opportunity for these people to get their manifesto out there into a public forum, they no longer have the ability to really use that as a motivation, if you will, to commit these types of atrocities.
Lou, I have about a minute. Based on what you've seen and you've heard of the police response today, and again, it takes time for them to arrive, but it seems like by the time they got there, it was all said and done. You've spent so many years. That's got to be a helpless feeling when you show up knowing that with all your training, there's really nothing you can do.
It's a terrible feeling, and it's exacerbated by the fact that there are things that we could do. I mean, we have written, policies and procedures for schools. We've written rapid response plans for schools. But the fact of the matter is what happens is they get the plans, they fulfill the requirements by the Department of Education, they put them on the shelf, they don't do additional training with people like Sam can offer, and here you are. When Sam refers to first responders, we have the same concept, but we refer to them as initial responders. These are the people that initially respond to the scene. Control the scene, neutralize the scene. From my perspective, I don't think all of these people had to die. Not when 60-some rounds were fired and eight adults were killed. Something could have been done. I would say to the public who's hearing this, tomorrow, the next week, go to your school board and say, what have you done, or what are you doing actually to protect our children?
All right, we'll get back to more of that conversation in a moment. News now with Joe at 4:30.
From the Lexus of Grove Hill Studios, this is the voice of Pittsburgh. News on KDKA now.
48 degrees at 4:30. I'm Joe DeStio. The anxious parents this morning at an elementary school in Newtown, Connecticut. State police have released more information about what happened at Sandy Hook Elementary. Let's go live to CBS News.
CBS News Special Report. I'm Sam Litzinger. For many, it's almost unimaginable. At least 28 people, 20 of them students, have been killed in shootings in Newtown, Connecticut, most of them at an elementary school. President Obama says the country is in pain.
We've endured too many of these tragedies in the past few years. And each time I learn the news, I react not as a president, but as anybody else would, as a parent.
Wiping away tears, he said something has to be done about access to guns in this country. This parent, whose daughter goes to the school and came out all right today, says the town is shattered.
Newtown schools are always known as some of the best in the country, and you would never think it would happen in Newtown, Connecticut.
The suspect, now identified as Adam Lanza, whose mother, also killed, worked at the school. A brother, Ryan, has been taken into custody. Another body was found at a house connected to Lanza. He apparently shot himself to death. CBS News Special Report. I'm Sam Litzinger.
And, of course, we'll have live coverage of events out of Newtown, Connecticut as they develop. What do you do? What do you say after such an unthinkable tragedy like today's school shooting? KDKA's Barbara Boylan has more.
Pittsburgh Catholic Bishop David Zubik admits to the KDKA Afternoon News that it's hard to know what to say or do.
It's a matter of trying to respond by the compassion that's in each of our hearts, that we reach out to other people, and then in our own relationship with God, we pray to Him to ask His help for other people and try to share that bit of hope with people who are asking lots of questions as well.
Bishop Zubik says the best thing we can do is speak the language of the heart and draw strength from our faith and each other. Barbara Boylan, News Radio 1020 KDKA.
In other news this afternoon, a woman is in the hospital, critical condition after being hit by a car this morning in Oakland. This happened at the intersection of Bates and Atwood. The woman struck by a dark-colored Chevy Cobalt. Police are searching for that vehicle and its driver. They say it'll have front-end damage. An arm of Consol Energy has been selected by the Allegheny County Airport Authority for the right to drill for natural gas on property at Pittsburgh International and the county airport of West Mifflin. Post-Gazette reports CNX Gas was the lower of two bids in the negotiations. The authority's executive director, Bradley Penrod, says the Consol bid was deemed the best value after a very careful review. On Wall Street today, Heffron Tillotson tells us the Dow Industrials finishing down 35 points, standing at 13,135. The NASDAQ was off 20. The news brought to you by WeatherTech Car Mats and Floor Liners, AAA Traffic, AccuWeather, together coming up.
Rates are in the twos. No, this isn't for your car, it's for your home. Residential Home Funding is currently locking its clients into fixed-rate mortgages in the twos. If you have a mortgage with a rate higher than 3.5%, call us at 412-255-22. That's 412-200-5522. Remember, this call and consultation is absolutely free. Residential Home Funding is a local direct lender. Why continue to overpay on your mortgage each month? Lock in your fixed mortgage rate in the 2s today. If you're looking to pay your home off faster, lower your monthly payment, or pay off those high-interest credit cards, lower your rate with quick professional service. Call 412-200-5522 or visit us at pahomefunding.com.
Residential Home Funding is an equal housing lender, is licensed by the Pennsylvania Department of Banking, license 20875, MLS 34973. This is not a commitment to lend. Not all applicants qualify for the rates quoted. All loans require an application, are based upon credit appraisal and other risk factors. Rates and terms may change without notice.
Introducing a faster way to push to talk. AT&T Enhanced Push to Talk. AT&T delivers more of what your business needs. Instant communication, up to 1,000 contacts, plus a broad array of devices and platforms. Visit att.com/enhancedptt free to get your business started with a free Samsung Rugby Pro. You push to talk, we pushed it further. AT&T, rethink possible.
Limited time offer. Free phone on new activations only. Requires 2-year commitment to eligible voice and data plans plus activation of AT&T Enhanced Push to Talk service.
Getting gifts for the sports fan in your life has never been easier this holiday season thanks to CBS Locals Fan Shop. We've got the jerseys and gear for almost every team in any sport. And if you visit CBS Locals Fan Shop today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more from CBS Locals Fan Shop.
KDKA traffic and weather together every 10 minutes.
435 KDKA all day. AAA traffic powered by Bowser Buick and Bonnie Diver.
Well, we have another accident. Parkway West on the inbound side. It looks like they got stuck at the on-ramp. Somebody stopped, somebody else didn't, so they rammed into the back of a truck. That's on the far right side. With police there, it's a very slow ride just to see what's going on, and so it's starting to back up at about 79 towards Carnegie. Slowdowns also on the Parkway North. That earlier accident got cleared out at Bellevue, but those delays remain on the outbound side of the Parkway North that starts before McKnight Road. Slowdowns also on the inbound side when you get past the East Street Valley down towards the North Shore Express. Really heavy making it to the Fort Duquesne Bridge. Your next AAA traffic update at 4:45 in the PennDOT Information Center. Bonnie Diver, Pittsburgh's official traffic station, News Radio 1020 KDKA.
Mostly sunny and nice this afternoon, a high 50. Tonight, clear much of the time, but clouds moving in toward morning, a low of 31. Thickening clouds and mild tomorrow with a high of 50. And then some rain and drizzle tomorrow night, a low 40. And Sunday, mostly cloudy, breezy, and mild with a couple of showers, high 54. Frankie weather, I'm meteorologist Dave Bowers on News Radio 1020 KDKA. 48 degrees, Pittsburgh International.
Health insurance is on everybody's mind right now. You either don't have it or you have it and you think it's too expensive. And you probably feel like you don't have any options. We can help. We are InSphere Insurance Solutions. We offer health insurance plans from major carriers nationwide and likely have a plan that can save you money. Whether you're self-employed, on a COBRA plan that's about to expire, or you simply don't have health insurance where you work and you need it, InSphere Insurance Solutions can help you. Our agents will help you find coverage you can afford. InSphere Insurance Solutions is an authorized agency in all 50 states, including the District of Columbia. Plans may not be available in all states.
800-713-0182. 800-713-0182. 800-713-0182. That's 800-713-0182.
This is continuing coverage of the tragedy in Connecticut on KDKA.
I'm Bill Raycott. Thanks for joining us. It's 4:38 on a Friday afternoon. The latest numbers that we have, 27 people dead in connection with this school shooting in Newtown. 18 children who were killed at the scene at the Sandy Hook Elementary School. 2 died at the hospital. 6 adults said to be teachers and staff members and other administrators at the scene. Also, the shooter said to be killed, identified as Adam Lanza. There is also word that at a home that is connected with the Lanza family that a body was found, and other reports that an acquaintance of Lanza has been reported missing at this hour, but we don't have any further word on that. A developing story that we are continuing to watch. But this is obviously not the first time we've had to contend with these. And in Pennsylvania several years ago, a shooting at a school left several young children dead. On the 84 Lumber Project Professionals Newsline to talk about it with us is reporter Rob Lang from WBAL Radio in Baltimore. At the time, living in central Pennsylvania, working in Baltimore, and covered that shooting at the Nickel Mine School. Rob, welcome to KDKA.
Nice to be with you, Bill. Wish it was under better circumstances. This was back in October of 2006. It was an Amish school in Nickel Mine, Pennsylvania, in Lancaster County. Gunmen entered the school, shot and killed 5 people, 5 students, and 5 others were wounded. What was different there, and that unlike what happened today or some of the other school shootings, is this was a one-room schoolhouse. There were no kinds of barricades, not even locks on the doors, and so the security was much different, but no less tragic.
Rob, as you try to cover these stories, I mean, the media descends on a town like this, and sure enough, I mean, the locals can't help but feel defensive. They feel outraged. They feel a little intruded upon. It's not an easy thing for a reporter to cover, to try to report this story, but at the same time, use sensitivity and try to be mindful and respectful of the local people there. It's quite a tightrope to walk. What was it like for you?
And there was a lot of local people who were very gracious to us in terms of wanting to talk about this incident, talking about the community. A couple of things that you remember from that shooting. One is there was one of the first interviews I did was with a fire police officer who was maybe about a half a mile from the school, and I was up there Tuesday. The shooting happened on a Monday, and he just broke down and started talking about how he knew these families and how they trusted him. The other thing that, and this is the thing that comes back to me all along. Now, I lived and worked, as you did, in central Pennsylvania, in Lancaster and Harrisburg for 15 years. I had moved to Baltimore by the time this shooting occurred. But the reaction of the Amish community to the family of the gunman, Charles Roberts, who took his life, later that night, that Tuesday night, the Amish elders went to the Roberts home and offered forgiveness and apology to the family, of Mr. Roberts, saying, we don't hold you responsible. They offered their condolences for their loss in this incident, and that basically that they forgave the family of Charles Roberts. Now, who among us has the power, after going through something like this, has the power, the faith, the strength to forgive the offender or the family of the offender for something like this? I mean, that is the thing that really stuck with me after covering that story.
You talked about the resilience of the Amish community, and that's not a trait that is just specific to them. We've seen how Aurora, Colorado came together earlier this year after the movie theater shootings. We've seen it countless times after 9/11, after other tragedies around this area.
Yes, we've seen it here in Maryland, too. Just at the start of the school year, we had a shooting at Perry Hall High School, which is northeast of Baltimore, where a student who turned out had been bullied comes into the cafeteria on the first day of school, opens fire. He shoots and wounds a disabled student. That student has since recovered, and the juvenile offender is now charged. And that whole community has come together, and the interesting thing just this week in that cafeteria, the students painted a mural in that cafeteria. They really wanted to take their cafeteria back after what happened there at the start of the school year.
And as you covered that Nickel Mine shooting, back to that for a minute. Again, Rob Lang joining us from WBAL Radio in Baltimore. It was a progressive thing as far as the healing is concerned, but it does start to happen. And they can't see it now in Newton, Connecticut, but they will start to see it shortly.
Yeah, and and that just takes time, as all these communities just they grieve, and then they bounce back, and we've seen it in numerous incidents in Pennsylvania, numerous incidents around the country. And I think the thing which is outraging a lot of people today, at least certainly down here in Baltimore, is that these the victims here, these kids, this was an elementary school. I mean, these kids, it was a K through 4 school. These were young kids. little kids who were killed, and it's how senseless it is. We had a tweet from the Baltimore County School Superintendent who described this as just he's outraged, and it's senseless because of what happened. I mean, the age of the victims. These were young kids. It's no less tragic when it happens in high school, but it just
this one pulls especially hard. Rob Lang, we appreciate your thoughts and your memories from the shootings in Lancaster County and in Baltimore County this year, and thanks for your time, and wish you a happy holidays.
Take care. See you, Bill.
Appreciate it. 444 News Radio 1020 KDKA. And again, our continuing coverage a little bit later on. We're going to be talking with Carnegie Police Chief Jeff Harbin. More on the police response to something like this. How in the world do you train for the eventuality of a crisis like this? Plus, our in-studio guests, Sam Rosenberg and Lou Gentile, are here to talk about, again, the crisis response and maybe the need for better protection of the nation's schools, including in this area and in Newtown. It's going to raise the debate, that's for sure. Time for traffic and weather together. At 4:45, we check it every 10 minutes. Here's Bonnie Diver.
We've got those slowdowns yet from an accident now on the Parkway West on the inbound side at Carnegie. That's on the right shoulder. It's starting from before 79 to get past that. Slowdowns also continue on 65 and the North Shore Express getting to the Fort Duquesne Bridge from an earlier accident. Still heavy on the outbound side of the Parkway North from the Betts Bridge, stretching up towards McKnight Road from an earlier accident. That Bellevue accident has cleared out. And 28, boy, that is jammed up on the North Shore Express trying to get to that outbound ride. Your next AAA traffic update at 4:55 in the PennDOT Information Center. I'm Bonnie Diver. This report brought to you by Discover Card, Pittsburgh's official traffic station, News Radio 1020 KDKA.
Cloudy skies, a low 30 tonight, then more clouds tomorrow. Will go up to about 50 degrees. Chance of rain on Sunday and Monday. Highs both days in the mid-50s. 48 now at Pittsburgh International. KDKA News Time, 4:45.
Schiffman's Jewelers is celebrating its 73rd anniversary. And right now, you can save 50% on diamonds and fine jewelry. Give the gift of a lifetime from Schiffman's Jewelers. Schiffman's Jewelers, 304 Clark Building, downtown.
'Tis the season for giving, which means you have to find some awesome gifts for the sports fans in your life.
Return to action. Pitt head coach Paul Chryst telling us today about the coaching rumors surrounding him in the Wisconsin job.
I mean, every year you go through that. It's a natural part of the profession.
Chryst says he's busy getting his team ready for Ole Miss as bowl practices continue. Defensive lineman T.J. Clemmings moving to offensive tackle. Pirate Fest this weekend at the Convention Center. And the Buccos going back to their early 70s uniforms as their alternates for this year. Sports Desk is brought to you by Consolidated Communications. If price matters to you, check out Consolidated Communications for phone, TV, and internet service. Jeff Hathorn, News Radio 1020, KDKA Sports.
All right, thanks, Jeff. A look at your money with Heffron Tillotson next. KDKA News Time, 4:47.
Attention hip implant patients. Are you in constant pain? Have you received a letter from your doctor about your implant? Have you had or need a revision surgery? Do you have high levels of metal, chromium, or cobalt in your blood? Over 90,000 hip implant devices have been recalled due to defects and failures resulting in revision or replacement surgery. If you have a recalled hip implant, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-449-4269 to see if your implant is affected by the recalls. If you or a loved one has a defective or recalled hip implant, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-449-4269. That's 800-449-4269. Protect your legal rights today. Call 800-449-4269. This is an advertisement, not valid in all states. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. iLawsuit.com is an advertising group that represents lawyers advertising their services and is a free matching service for consumers. It is not a law firm or lawyer referral service.
Stuck for gift ideas again this holiday? We have great news. You're actually just a click away from the perfect gift at redenvelope.com. With hundreds of new, one-of-a-kind gifts, you'll find something just right for everyone on your list. Whether it's cool gadgets for him or a customized piece of jewelry for her, you'll find it all at redenvelope.com. Fast, easy, and perfect. And right now, you can get 25% off almost everything. But you must go to redenvelope.com and enter promotion code FAST at checkout. Go to redenvelope.com. Code FAST. That's redenvelope.com. Promo code FAST.
Do you suffer from pain like joint pain, muscle pain, back pain, or painful arthritis? Then you must listen to this important message. Nearly half of all Americans suffer from some kind of pain due to chronic inflammation. Anatoblock is a breakthrough supplement scientifically proven to quickly and effectively reduce inflammation and get rid of pain. Anatoblock is so effective in preventing excessive inflammation and reducing the pain, we guarantee you'll feel a significant difference in just a few days. Best of all, Anatoblock is now available to try for free. That's right, call 800-648-5148 now and get out of pain absolutely free. Anatoblock is now looking for real-life testimonials for anyone who has back pain, muscle pain, or painful arthritis. Call 800-648-5148 to get your free supply and get out of pain today. Just call 800-648-5148 for details. Call today, 800-648-5148. That's 800-648-5148. Again, 800-648-5148.
This is a special report from News Radio 1020 KDKA.
CBS News Special Report. I'm Jim Taylor. 28 are dead. America's worst mass shooting since Virginia Tech.
The shootings did take place in one section of the school in 2 rooms.
Connecticut State Police Lieutenant Paul Vance describing the death scene at Sandy Hook Elementary in rural Newtown, where 20-year-old Adam Lanza, they say, entered the classroom where his mother was a teacher. Police say he shot and killed her and 5 other adults at the school, and then he executed 20 little kids before killing himself. This nurse lives by.
One of the cops said it's, the worst thing he'd ever seen in his entire career. We knew at one point they asked the ambulances to leave, that they didn't need them, and we knew that that wasn't a good sign.
This is CBS's Bob Orr.
2 guns have been recovered. That will tell us a little bit about how this shooter was armed. Obviously, the 2 guns are handguns, most likely semi-automatics, kinds of weapons that we've seen used in other places. Of course, the federal government will help the local police there trace those guns.
President Obama's emotional reaction.
I know there's not a parent in America who doesn't feel the same overwhelming grief that I do.
Mr. Obama pausing to wipe away a tear, saying that something has to be done about guns in this country.
The majority of those who died today were children. Beautiful little kids between the ages of 5 and 10 years old.
And one more death there today. A body found in a nearby home connected to the shooter, Adam Lanza. His brother, Ryan, is being questioned right now by New Jersey police. CBS News Special Report. I'm Jim Taylor.
451 News Radio 1020 KDKA. A check on your money now from Heffron Tillotson. And here's Maggie Canan.
Thanks, Bill. U.S. consumer prices declined in November. The CPI dropped 0.3% as energy prices fell 4.1% and wages went up 0.5%. The falling cost of fuel gave consumers some extra cash to spend last month. A rebound from Hurricane Sandy with stronger auto production and industrial production up at its fastest pace in 2 years. Output of the nation's factories, mines, and utilities rose 1.1% in November. China's manufacturing activity rose to a 14-month high in December, adding signs to the world's largest economy is recovering. At the close, the Dow ended the session down 35 points to 13,135. The S&P was down 6 to 1413. The Nasdaq ended lower by 20 to 2971. In local stocks, PNC Bank down 69 cents to 55.85. U.S. Steel up $1.52 to 23.85. We check your money at 20 and 50 past the hour. From the Greensburg office of Heffron Tillotson, this is Maggie Canan for News Radio 1020 KDKA.
It's 4:52 on KDKA. Let's go on to the newsroom and get the latest headlines with Joe DeSteel.
Bill, the flag atop the White House lowered to half-staff because of this morning's mass shooting at an elementary school in Connecticut. Governor Corbett has ordered the same here. 26 fatalities at that school, 20 of them school children. The gunman dead, confirmed to be 20-year-old Adam Lanza. Barbara Boylan reports on talking to children here about today's events. Keith James covered Senator Bob Casey's effort to get to the bottom of the Legionnaires' outbreak at the VA. That coming up at 5 on News Radio 1020 KDKA.
'Tis the season for giving. which means you have to find some awesome gifts for the sports fans in your life. With CBS Locals Fan Shop, not only can you find great team gear, but you can also save money. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10 to get an additional 10% off. Get tremendous gifts for the sports fan on your shopping list at CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more.
According to the FBI Uniform Crime Report, there are over 5,000 robberies every day. Your home could be at risk of being burglarized. Don't put your loved ones and valuables in jeopardy. For just over $1 per day, your home can be protected from break-ins, fire, and more. Get the latest home security technology from Protect Your Home, your ADT authorized dealer. Over 6 million households sleep better at night with ADT monitored home security. What's more, Protect Your Home is offering you their latest equipment, an $850 value, absolutely free for qualified customers. Protect your loved ones and home today. Call now for licenses and to find out more. The call is free, 1-800-285-9584. That's 1-800-285-9584. Again, 1-800-285-9584. $99 installation charge, 36-month monitoring agreement at $36.99 per month. Payment by credit card or electronic bank account charge. For new homeowner customers with satisfactory credit history only. Local permit fees may be required. Certain restrictions apply. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
4:55 News Radio 1020 KDKA. Let's check traffic and weather with Bonnie Diver.
Well, it looks like they lost some poinsettias off the back of a truck. Imagine that. That's on the 79 southbound ride just past Wexford, approaching the split. And so it's real heavy as everybody's trying to make their way around that. It's sort of in the center lane from what we can tell. And we've got backups that start well before 9:10. Slowdowns also from an earlier accident, Parkway West inbound. It's at the Carnegie exit or entrance, and that starts before 79 for that delay. Your next AAA traffic update at 5:05. This report brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts and the PennDOT Information Center. I'm Bonnie Diver, Pittsburgh's official traffic station, News Radio 1020 KDKA.
The AccuWeather forecast, cloudy with a low of 30. Then for tomorrow, more clouds and a high of 50. A couple of showers Sunday, the high 54. More the same on Monday. Right now, 48 degrees at Pittsburgh International. KDKA News Time, 4:55.
If you're stuck for gift ideas again this holiday, then we have great news. You don't need to wander aimlessly around the mall because you're actually just a click away from the perfect gift at RedEnvelope.com. Red Envelope has always been the place online to find extraordinary, one-of-a-kind gifts. But now it's even better with hundreds of new gifts, so you know you'll find something just right for all the important people in your life. Whether it's cool gadgets or awesome sports stuff for him or a customized piece of jewelry for her, you'll find it all at RedEnvelope.com. Fast, easy, and perfect. What more could you ask for? How about 25% off almost everything? Okay, done. Just go to RedEnvelope.com and enter promotion code FAST at checkout. No one needs to know how easy it was for you to find their perfect gift, but time is running out. So go to RedEnvelope.com right now and enter promo code FAST at checkout to get 25% off almost everything. Go to RedEnvelope.com, code FAST. That's RedEnvelope.com, promo code FAST.
KDKA, AMNHC, KDKA, FMHD2 Pittsburgh, and KDKA.com.
This is continuing coverage of the tragedy in Connecticut on KDKA.
At 4:57, Bill Rakoff here along with our guest Sam Rosenberg from Impacts, which is an education piece, a group that goes around and provides crisis management education to schools. And I guess your parting point in all of this is that, the type of work that you do isn't just some kind of, it's not just a good idea. I mean, this is stuff that teachers can actually get credit for. I mean, it's legit training.
Absolutely. It's not only legit, it's, and that the teachers actually walk away with legitimate skill sets and knowledge, but it's an accredited program. It's accredited through the PSEA, the Pennsylvania State Education Association, and, the teachers actually get credit for their continuing education. But, I think the most important thing that we have to remember is that there are things that people can do. Most people look at a situation like this, and they assume that there is absolutely nothing you can do if someone walks in with a gun. And the reality is, to a well-trained person, to even a moderately trained person, there's a lot that you can do. And the dynamics are that understanding how the human brain interacts understanding how to avoid panic and paralysis, how to respond to these situations physically should you need to, and what your protocols are. That's all part of the continuum. So prevention is key. Identification of bad people is key, and avoiding these situations. And absolutely, we have to start taking security much more seriously in these schools. But there are many things that these teachers can do. And thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And your website, livewithconfidence.com, if you want to check out Sam's stuff. Lou, your take on this is that, we need to kind of start taking responsibility for ourselves and for the school.
Absolutely. Everyone out there is an initial responder. Everyone out there has to recognize the evil that's in this world. Everyone out there has to go to their employer and ask, what are you doing to make my workplace safe? Everyone has to know that even in the workplace, homicide is one of the 4 leading causes of death. Homicide is the leading cause of death for women, and they have to go to their schools, they have to go to their school boards and say, what are you doing to keep our children safe? And we just don't want to hear fluff. We want to hear what you're doing. We've talked about some of the resources available. It's up to the schools to take advantage of those resources.
Lou and Sam are both going to be guests with Rob Pratt tomorrow morning on News Radio 1020 KDKA. Again, we appreciate both of your time. Coming up in the next hour, our continuing coverage of the tragedy in Newtown will continue. Carnegie Police Chief Jeff Harbin will be joining us to talk a little bit about the police response today and what happens in situations like this, plus more of the coverage itself. We're getting new information in as we go through the afternoon on this, and we will certainly keep you posted later on as well. We hope to be speaking to some reporters actually out on the scene. A couple of them have Pittsburgh ties as well, and we want to try and get the latest from the Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut. The news is next. It's 5 o'clock.
From the Lexus of Grove Hill Studios, this is the voice of Pittsburgh. News on KDKA now.
It's 4. Degrees at 5 o'clock. I'm Joe DiStio. The thoughts now are for the parents. The The parents of the 20 school children killed by a gunman this morning at an elementary school in Newtown, Connecticut.
Our hearts are with everybody, every parent, every mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, brother, sister right now for all the other children.
That mother, a lucky one, her child at that school is okay. Total of 26 people killed when police say 20-year-old Adam Lanza entered Sandy Hook Elementary about 9:40 this morning, confronting the principal and soon opening fire, targeting his mother's classroom where children were executed. Lanza's mother also dead. She was a teacher at Sandy Hook Elementary. Connecticut Governor Dan Malloy spoke to reporters mid-afternoon.
I only ask that all of our fellow citizens here in the United States and around the world who have already offered their assistance remember all of the victims in their prayers.
President Obama has ordered the flag at the White House to half-staff.
We've endured too many of these tragedies in the past few years. And each time I learn the news, I react not as a president, but as anybody else would, as a parent. And that was especially true today.
Now, there may be another victim of today's events. A body's been found at a home connected to the Lanza family. Authorities have not released an ID. Police are using search warrants to gather additional information. We know the 2 semi-automatic handguns were found with Adam Lanza's body inside the school. A third weapon in a vehicle. Police say each family of a dead child has been assigned a police officer to help smooth the lines of communication. When a tragedy like this occurs, how do you talk to kids who have questions when we have questions ourselves? KDKA's Barbara Boylan reports that the Highmark Caring Place is a good place to start.
Director Therese Vorshak says some children may be worried about going back to school.
You know, the best a parent can do is to reassure their child that, that nothing like that has ever happened in their school, and that it is their intention and the intention of, their school teachers, to do everything to keep them as safe as possible.
She says there are brochures on their website, thehighmarkcaringplace.com, that can help parents talk to their kids. Barbara Boylan, News Radio 1020 KDKA.
Senator Bob Casey was in Pittsburgh speaking about the inquiry into the Legionnaires' outbreak at the Pittsburgh VA. Keith James reports.
Senator Casey has been monitoring the situation following the outbreak and has written several letters to Secretary Shinseki and other high-ranking officials within the Veterans Administration. Casey said his staff placed multiple phone calls to the VA with no response.
That is a bad indication in the early days or weeks of a review of a problem that leads people to be more skeptical.
Senator Casey has now called for an investigation by the VA's Office of Inspector General. Keith James, News Radio 1020, KDKA.
On Wall Street today, Heffron Tillotson says that Dow Industrials finished down 35 points to 13,135. The NASDAQ was minus 20. Our news brought to you by Lenzner Tour and Travel. Book a tour today, and by Allegheny Sports Medicine, helping athletes of all levels return to the game. AAA Traffic, AccuWeather together coming up.
Ernie, I know you're our worst player, but I want you to win this thing.
How, Coach? I've been riding the bench watching Netflix on my tablet all season.
By running the play that would never work if this were a real game.
Sorry, all I know is that Netflix lets me instantly watch as many TV episodes and movies as I want.
Listen, son, when you get the ball, just chuck it. It'll go there.
Instantly watch thousands of TV episodes and movies on all kinds of devices for only $8 a month with Netflix. Start your free trial today. See terms of use.
Introducing a faster way to push to talk. AT&T Enhanced Push to Talk. AT&T delivers more of what your business needs. Instant communication, up to 1,000 contacts, plus a broad array of devices and platforms. Visit att.com/enhancedPTT3 to get your business started with a free Samsung Rugby Pro. You push to talk, we pushed it further. AT&T, rethink possible.
Limited time offer. Free phone on new activations only. Requires 2-year commitment to eligible voice and data plans plus activation of AT&T Enhanced Push to Talk service.
Getting gifts for the sports fan in your life has never been easier this holiday season thanks to CBS Locals Fan Shop. We've got the jerseys and gear for almost every team in any sport. And if you visit CBS Locals Fan Shop today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more from CBS Locals Fan Shop.
Do you suffer from pain like joint pain, muscle pain, back pain, or painful arthritis? Then you must listen to this important message. Nearly half of all Americans suffer from some kind of pain due to chronic inflammation. Anettablock is a breakthrough supplement scientifically proven to quickly and effectively reduce inflammation and get rid of pain. Anettablock is so effective in preventing excessive inflammation and reducing the pain, we guarantee you'll feel a significant difference in just a few days. Best of all, Anettablock is now available to try for free. That's right. Call 800-591-5693 now and get out of pain absolutely free. Anettablock is now looking for real-life testimonials for anyone who has back pain, muscle pain, or painful arthritis. Call 800-591-5693 to get your free supply and get out of pain today. Just call 800-591-5693 for details. Call today. 800-591-5693. That's 800-591-5693. Again, 800-591-5693.
KDKA traffic and weather together every 10 minutes.
It's 5:05 KDKA all day. AAA traffic powered by Bowser Buick and Bonnie Diver.
Well, the spill that was on 79 southbound appears to be all taken care of. We are moving through again. That was between Wexford and the Split. We've got heavy delays, though, on the southbound 79 ride starting before 910. And then on the outbound side of the Parkway North, trying to get to 79 North, that's all jammed up. Everybody was slowing down to see what was going on. So those delays start just past Camp Horn Road as you're heading towards the Wexford area. Still an accident Parkway West. That's the right shoulder at the Carnegie ramp, and we've got delays well before 79 inbound. Your next AAA traffic update at 5:15. In the PennDOT Information Center, Bonnie Diver, Pittsburgh's official traffic station, News Radio 1020 KDKA.
Clear this evening and then increasing clouds late tonight, a low of 30. For tomorrow, thickening cloudiness, mild, a high of 50. And then rain and drizzle tomorrow night, low of mild 40. Sunday, mostly cloudy, breezy, and mild with just a couple of showers, a high 54. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dave Bowers on News Radio 1020 KDKA.
48 degrees, Pittsburgh International.
Do you have student loans and are worried about making your payments? Stop worrying. Now Direct Student Aid can help if you are behind, if you are late, or even if you are in default on your student loans, we can help cut your payments fast. We provide student loan relief, getting you relief from your student loans right away. We will stop any harassing phone calls, stop any wage garnishments, and even remove any tax liens. No matter how much you owe or how far behind you are with payments, call our established Direct Student Aid toll-free assistance line right now. We can fix your student loan problems guaranteed. That's right, we guarantee we will get your student loan out of default and cut your payments right away. We have helped thousands of people just like you fix their student loans. Best of all, it's 100%. Another day with your loans behind or in default. Our specialists are waiting for your call. Call 800-395-5576. That's 800-395-5576. Again, call 800-395-5576. That's 800-395-5576.
Other factors not available in all states.
This is continuing coverage of the tragedy in Connecticut on KDKA.
508 News Radio 1020 KDKA. I'm Bill Rakoff. Thanks for joining us on a special edition of the KDKA Afternoon News. We have Carnegie Police Chief Jeff Harbin on the line. We're going to get to him in just a moment, but first I want to bring in Bishop Roderick Wilson, who's the Director of Security Services. I'm sorry, can I get you to give me your title again, sir? I'm sorry.
I'm just campus safety there in Chartiers Valley, but I used to live up in that area where Newton, Connecticut is, Sandy Hook. I used to live in Waterbury, which is the east of it, and Danbury is 15 minutes from Newton, and Danbury is like 15 minutes the west of it, going towards New York City.
Okay.
Very quaint, very upper middle class, influential community. Some of your actresses or actors from the soap community live in that area.
I see.
It's very shocking, but it remains to be said they probably didn't have school security. Because I saw one of the parents who were interviewed today, and they said, well, nothing like this never happened. So they're absolutely right. They would think something like that happens in Waterbury, which is a bigger city, or Danbury. What they need to do is, all across the country, is look at their budgets and start reinstating more school security. It can happen anywhere. One of my policies that I like to have for myself is the what if. The what if hits you all the time. And schools need to understand it. School boards need to understand this, they need to have school security that can be a deterrent, that can absolutely change things around as far as how perpetrators who come in to try to kill or do harm to schools. Now, I will tell you this. Now, I've heard people say, well, the kids will bounce back and everything like that. They probably will, but they got to understand something. These are kindergarten to fourth graders.
Right.
It's going to take a long time. Their school year now, knowing that community, it's pretty well shot. I mean, as far as testing or whatever, the teachers are going to be affected greatly. Now, what they're going to have to do now is probably do damage control. You can't give a standardized testing now for that school. Those kids can't do it.
Right.
Even though they're probably the best of the best, their intelligence, a lot of resources are their way because of their tax base is pretty strong. But it's going to take a long time. But school boards of America everywhere, and that includes Pennsylvania, need to re-look at their budget as far as campus safety and school safety. It does make a difference. My job at Chartiers Valley, which I've told them all the time, my life is on the line every day. If somebody was to come to do harm to the staff or the children, I would literally have to take them out. And I don't believe in guns in schools, by the way. I don't believe in that.
All right.
There's a certain way that you can be trained to take out a person or to provide your school with tremendous security. It's just a matter of training. It's just a matter of having the right personnel.
Bishop Roderick Wilson, who is the Director of Campus Safety for Chartiers Valley.
I'm just campus safety there.
I appreciate your time, sir. I've got to run for our next guest, but I do appreciate your input, and thanks for your insight into the area.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night. 511 and News Radio 1020, KDKA, and now let's bring in Chief Jeff Harbin of the Carnegie Police Department. Welcome back to KDKA. Thanks for your time, Chief.
Good afternoon, Bill.
I was a sad one to have to give you the information this afternoon, early today, when we found out about the shooting. From what we see, Jeff, the cops who showed up, the deed was done. It was all, there was nothing that they could do to intervene. I can't imagine a more helpless feeling on the arrival of first responders.
I can tell you that that's probably the most heart-wrenching call a police officer can get, a first responder can get, is to a call similar to that to the school. Next to the parents, I can't imagine people that are more traumatized right now than the first responders who had to respond up there in Newtown.
From a responder's standpoint, I mean, obviously, since Columbine, police departments around the country have had to deal with this sort of thing, whether they're large departments like the city of Pittsburgh or smaller departments like yourselves. How much attention do you pay to this sort of thing in training?
There's no question that post-Columbine, the way that police prepare for something like this has changed. The concept being what we refer to now as the active shooter. And that theory is that when you get to a scene where there is an active shooter, specifically a school, rather than wait for a SWAT team to arrive, which may take a half hour or an hour or more, that the first responding officers who get there go in and they neutralize the active shooter. And we train for that. There's a specific course that our police officers go through. They're initially trained, they're retrained. We're very fortunate that we received that training through a consortium of police departments through our Char West Council of Governments, our neighboring police departments. So our officers train together, they're familiar with each other. But like you said, and more often than not, when the police get the call, it's after the fact. And when you get there, more often than not, the carnage has already been done and the situation is over. So it's more or less a reaction type thing.
Carnegie Police Chief Jeff Harbin, I have about a minute left, but you heard Bishop Wilson saying, look, this is a wake-up call for school districts to take a look at their security procedures and what they have in place. In many places, they're non-existent. I can think of the lady who volunteers to check people's names at my kid's school. That is the only line of defense there is. Do schools really have to? I mean, we're at that point now. We've got to take a look at this.
Well, I can tell you, last Saturday, I went to the Army-Navy game in Philadelphia, and because the Vice President was there, it was considered a Homeland Security event with the attached security. I went through 3 levels of security before I got inside the stadium. Everything from visual searches, metal detectors, to being physically wand and searched. They actually found they detected my money clip had a small amount of metal in it, and that was detected. So it can be done, but it depends on what level of security that our society decides that they need in schools. I mean, obviously, that I believe that's something that society is going to have to take a look at.
Chief Jeff Harbin from the Carnegie Police Department, as always, we appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Take care. KDKA News Time, 5:15. Traffic and weather every 10 minutes. Let's get the latest on the Friday Rush with Bonnie Diver.
We've got some delays now on the Parkway West that start from Montour Run inbound all the way to the tunnels. Accident at Carnegie off to the right shoulder that's causing everybody to go a little slower there. So that's really making that build up. Slowdowns also continue on the Parkway North and 79 trying to make your way to Wexford. We had an earlier incident on the other side of the road that everybody slowed down for, and now we just have a lot of extra traffic there, even though that's all cleared up. Your next AAA traffic update at 5:25. This report brought to you by Allstate and the PennDOT Information Center. I'm Bonnie Diver. Pittsburgh's official traffic station is Radio 1020 KDKA.
AccuWeather says clouds tonight with a low of 30. More of the same for tomorrow with a high of 50 degrees, and you throw in a chance of rain for Sunday and Monday. Highs both days in the mid-50s. It's 43 now at Pittsburgh International. KDKA News Time, 5:16. It's 5:16. Let's check sports now with Jeff Hathorn from Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
Clarendon won the Class A state football title and a 63rd straight game this afternoon in Hershey, a 20-0 win over Dunmore.
Family starting at $14.99. This is how to gift. This is Sears. Plus, members can get $10 in Shop Your Way points when you spend $50 or more. Members earn points on qualifying purchases subject to full program terms available at shopyourway.com. Exclusions apply. See store for details. Prices may vary in Alaska, Hawaii, Puerto Rico. Offer ends 12/8/12.
Hello, this is your navigation system. Your destination is now set for Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry, where you will always find the perfect gift for her. Jared has an incredible selection of beautiful diamond fashion necklaces, earrings, rings, and bracelets from fabulous brands like Love's Embrace, Heart's Desire, and Levion chocolate diamonds. Prices starting at $100. You have arrived. Tell it, radio singers.
It can only be Jared.
CBS News Special Report. I'm Jim Taylor. 28 people are dead, including the shooter.
We will identify the shooter at an appropriate time. Just for our investigatory purposes, it's not appropriate to do that right now.
Connecticut State Police Lieutenant Paul Vance. It happened at a rural elementary school. 20 of those killed, executed, children.
We provided counseling for the first responders because this was a very tragic, horrific scene that they encountered.
I'm Steve Kathan in Newtown, Connecticut. This town is very much in mourning. A prayer vigil was held during the afternoon at a small church with a small parking lot that was very full. And there are signs in some business windows. One read, "We pray for the victims and their families."
Named as the suspected shooter, 20-year-old Adam Lanza, found dead at the school. Another body found in a nearby home where he lived. His older brother, Ryan Lanza, being questioned right now by police in New Jersey. Here's CBS's John Miller.
When you see him being led away in handcuffs, we can't read a lot into that. That means they haven't sorted out what he is, but he's not charged with any crime. He's not technically under arrest. He's somebody that they need to interview about what he knew, what he didn't know, what his contact with his brother is. Part of this is routine in terms of an investigative step in what is such an extraordinary incident.
One of those killed, the shooter's mother, a teacher at the school in Connecticut. CBS News Special Report. I'm Jim Taylor.
It's 5:21 in News Radio 1020 KDKA. Let's check business news from CNBC with Tom Busby.
Thanks, Bill. Stocks ended lower on concerns about the stalemate in negotiations over the federal budget to avert the fiscal cliff, even though there was good news today about manufacturing, low inflation, and gas prices are falling to near the lowest prices of the year. We saw an all-time high in shares of PPG Industries today, once known as Pittsburgh Paint and Glass. It's buying rival Glidden Paints from its Dutch owner, paying about $1 billion. Shares of Pennsylvania's chocolate giant Hershey also hitting an all-time high today. General Motors will add 500 jobs at a plant outside Buffalo, New York, where the engines for new GM pickup trucks will be built. And Discovery Channel's owner is branching out. It's spending $2 billion to buy up some TV channels in Scandinavia, along with taking stakes in broadcasters over in France. We check your money at 20 and 50 after each hour. From CNBC, I'm Tom Busby on News Radio 1020, KDKA.
KDKA News Time 522. Let's check the headlines. Out to the newsroom with Joe DeSteel.
Bill, it will take some time for authorities to go through the carnage of the mass shooting this morning at Sandy Hook Elementary in Newtown, Connecticut. 26 people died there, 20 of them school children. KDKA's Barbara Boylan on Pittsburgh Bishop David Zubik's response to the tragedy and what we can do. 2 people dead. This is a head-on crash this afternoon on Camp Hollow Road in West Mifflin. Details on those stories coming up at 5:30 on News Radio 1020 KDKA.
Seems like it's just been an awful day locally and, of course, at the national level. We lost a Green Beret to suicide, but another soldier from this area has died. Obviously, we've had these terrible crashes that occurred in the area. Both this morning, we had a pedestrian hit and a motorcyclist who was seriously injured in a crash, and now we're hearing about this double fatality in West Mifflin. Happy holidays indeed, my goodness. So as we continue our coverage of what happened in Newtown, Connecticut, we should tell you that coming up a little bit later on, a couple of reporters with Pittsburgh ties who are covering this story in Connecticut. Bo Berman will join us. He was a former intern for KDKA TV, now works for Fox Connecticut, and he's at the scene at Sandy Hook Elementary School. We're going to be speaking to him right after the news at 6:35 this afternoon. Also, you'll recall Jim Loke, who was the traffic reporter for KDKA TV's morning news for a number of years, is now in Boston working as a reporter and a weekend anchor for the Hearst affiliate up there. He is also on his way to Newtown at this hour. Jim is pretty much somebody I would consider to be one of the gods of social media when it comes to Twitter and Facebook and things like that. He's very savvy. He was one of the earliest to get on it and embrace it for what it is and to take advantage of it as far as being able to use it for news purposes. Sometimes it works very well. We ran into an instance today where it doesn't work very well. We're going to talk a little bit about that, plus his reaction, since it's a fairly local story for Boston and Connecticut viewers there, as Jim is going out there to work up the coverage. So we'll have that for you as well. The death toll again stands at 27 at Sandy Hook Elementary School. There is another death at a home purportedly related to one of the suspects. We will talk about that coming up. There still is no conclusive evidence linking it, but we're being told that it might be a family member of the shooter. So we'll certainly keep you posted. Another report is coming up, special report coming up in the news with Joe DeSteel. KDKA News Time 5:25. Right now we need to check traffic and weather as we do every 10 minutes. Here's Bonnie Diver.
Well, we have some good news. They cleared the accident at Carnegie on the inbound side of the Parkway West, but we still have slowdowns starting at Montour Run all the way down towards the city. Slowdowns also on Parkway North starting at the Mount Nebo Road overpass, heading up towards Wexford area because of an earlier incident on the other side of the road. So no excuses. And then we've got those delays also from the Vets Bridge up towards McKnight Road, really heavy for that whole stretch. Still really heavy on the Parkway East on the outbound side, starting before Forbes. Your next AAA traffic update, 5:35. This report brought to you by Chapstick and the PennDOT Information Center. Bonnie Diver, Pittsburgh's official traffic station, News Radio 1020 KDKA.
AccuWeather says cloudy skies tonight. Temperatures will get down to about 30 degrees. Not quite as warm thanks to that cloud deck. We're going to keep the clouds in the forecast for the next few days. In fact, it'll be cloudy tomorrow with a high of 50. Toss in a chance of rain showers for Sunday, a high of 54. Cloudy on Monday, again a chance of rain with a high in the mid-50s. Then looking to Tuesday, here's where the change is coming. Colder with a possibility of a rain shower. Could even be a snow shower in some places. The high on Tuesday will be only 42 degrees. Right now under mostly clear skies, we have 43 degrees at Pittsburgh International. KDKA News Time 5:26.
Getting gifts for the sports fan in your life has never been easier this holiday season thanks to CBS Locals Fan Shop. We
we've got the jerseys and gear for almost every team in any sport. And if you visit CBS Locals Fan Shop today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more from CBS Locals Fan Shop.
Important medical alert for users of antidepressant prescription drugs. If you or a loved one used certain antidepressant prescription drugs before or during pregnancy, including Zoloft, Depakote, Paxil, Prozac, Wellbutrin, Lexapro, Celexa, or Effexor, and have a child born with a birth defect such as cleft lip, cleft palate, club foot, or other heart, lung, and cranial defects, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation and future medical expenses for your child's condition. Call 800-322-7975 now if you or a loved one used certain antidepressant prescription drugs before or during pregnancy and have a child born with a birth defect. Time is limited to file a claim. Act now. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-322-7975. That's 800-322-7975. The call and consultation are free. 800-322-7975. This is an advertisement, not valid in all states. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. iLawsuit.com is an advertising group that represents lawyers advertising their services and is a free matching service for consumers. It is not a law firm or lawyer referral service.
Take control.
528 at News Radio 1020 KDKA. Wanted to spend a couple of minutes talking about the shooting itself. And one of the things that we actually got wrong initially, and we're still not quite sure how this happens. It'll happen at the local level, then the national media will seize on it, and then if the networks and the wired services tend to broadcast something, then we're supposed to take it reasonably confident at the local level that what they're speaking is the truth, so we pass it on. But sometimes we blow it, ladies and gentlemen, and we did in this case. A law enforcement official says the suspect in the Connecticut school shootings is 20-year-old Adam Lanza, the son of the teacher at the school where the shootings occurred. Another official says the boy's mother, Nancy, is presumed dead. She was a teacher at the school. Now, they say that Adam Lanza's older brother, 24-year-old Orion of Hoboken, New Jersey, was the one we were saying first was possibly related to the shooting. But then we found out later that Ryan of Hoboken, New Jersey, is simply being questioned by police. That earlier report mistakenly transposed the brother's first name. So the way we got this wrong is that a law enforcement official flip-flopped the names and released them to the media. Nonetheless, we're not passing that off, but we did incorrectly report that, but that's why. Both officials speaking anonymously because they weren't allowed to speak on the record. We're hearing from some family members amazing stories about what happened. A 6-year-old telling his dad that he was in the classroom when the gunman burst in and shot the teacher. The son says he grabbed a bunch of his friends and ran out the door. That's a 6-year-old. Can you imagine the presence of mind to be able to grab friends and push them out the door? Another woman said her 8-year-old daughter, who heard 2 big bangs and teachers told her to get into a corner, she survived. And a 17-year-old heard the shots from his home and checked on his 9-year-old sister at the school and says she was okay as well. So we're grieving the loss of these 20 children who died and 6 adults at Sandy Hook Elementary. But also, when you're saying your prayers tonight, my goodness, say a prayer for the dozens and dozens of other children who survived that, literally being told by police officers, don't look, keep your eyes closed as you run out the door so they wouldn't see the carnage. Sometimes the imagination with eyes closed is far worse than anything that can be seen with the naked eye, though. We'll keep you posted on the developments as we get through the afternoon. In fact, let's do it now. Latest news update with Joe DeStio.
From the Lexus of North Hills Studios, this is the voice of Pittsburgh. News on KDKA now.
It's 42 degrees at 5:30. I'm Joe DeStio. And we've had now a first prayer service held in the town of Newtown, Connecticut, for the families of 26 people killed. As you heard, 20 of them children. State police, they're continuing to unfold details. Let's go to CBS News for the latest.
CBS News Special Report. I'm Sam Litzinger. It's one of the worst mass killings in American history.
It's a tragedy. It's a tragic scene.
State Police Lieutenant Paul Vance says 20 children and 6 adults were killed in today's shooting at an elementary school in Newtown, Connecticut. The gunman was also found dead at the scene. He's identified as 20-year-old Adam Lanza. His mother worked at the school as a teacher and is presumed dead at her house. 28 people dead in all.
You can never be prepared for this kind of incident.
Governor Daniel Malloy says offers of help are pouring in. WCBS reporter Marla Diamond says the young survivors are trying to cope.
The children, a lot of them seem very stoic about it. Some of them did hear gunshots. One small boy said that he was bringing the attendance sheet to the principal's office when he heard gunshots, and a nearby teacher pulled him into the classroom to safety, perhaps saving that little boy's life.
Again, 28 dead. CBS News Special Report. I'm Sam Litzinger.
That 28th person believed to be at the home, the home of the suspected gunman, Adam Lanza, and that victim's name has not been released. We're waiting for details on that as well. Governor of Connecticut, Dan Malloy, to hold a news conference at 6 o'clock. How do you deal with a horrible tragedy like the school shooting in Connecticut? KDKA's Barbara Boylan reports.
What can you say to someone who suffered such a tragic loss? The KDKA Afternoon News posed the question to Pittsburgh Catholic Bishop David Zubik.
Well, it's never easy, and words don't come easy. I think that's why at times like this, the best language that we can speak is the language of the heart. Just to be there with people in their grief, in their questions, being stunned.
He says faith can be a great help, but still, it's difficult to get through something as wrenchingly terrible as this. Barbara Boylan, News Radio 1020, KDKA.
In other news this afternoon, West Mifflin, 2 people died. A head-on crash on Camp Hollow Road. Police say it occurred just before 3 o'clock near the New England Road intersection. County homicide detectives investigating. Still no sign of that dark-colored Chevy Cobalt and its driver, wanted in connection to a hit-and-run accident this morning in Oakland. A woman struck near the intersection of Bates and Atwood, rushed to the hospital in critical condition. 3 firefighters required medical treatment from a blaze this afternoon, Brighton Heights, that broke out at 1418 Terman Avenue after 3 o'clock, took about an hour to bring under control. On Wall Street today, Heffron Tillotson says the Dow Industrial Average closed down 35 points. It stands at 13,135. The NASDAQ is off 20. It's 5:33. The news brought to you by Tom Clark Chevrolet. AAA traffic and AccuWeather together coming up.
Getting gifts for the sports fan in your life has never been easier this holiday season thanks to CBS Locals Fan Shop. We've got the jerseys and gear for almost every team in any sport. And if you visit CBS Locals Fan Shop today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more from CBS Locals Fan Shop.
Enjoy the 100 greatest books of all time and never read a word. Listen to them instead on the Library of Classics MP3 player. Enjoy Moby Dick, Gulliver's Travels, Tom Sawyer, Little Women, and 96 more, all preloaded on the compact player. Listen while driving, gardening, working out, or relaxing in your favorite chair. It's the perfect companion for road trips or on a plane. For a limited time, you'll receive the easy-to-use MP3 player, headphones, belt clip, car adapter, and 100 classic audiobooks. You could easily spend over $1,000 to buy the entire collection. You get everything for just $99 plus shipping. That's less than $1 a book. Order now and you'll also get 50 great classical music performances preloaded on the player. You're fully protected by our lifetime guarantee. If you are ever dissatisfied, get a complete refund, no questions asked. Call toll-free right now and order your Library of Classics.
1-800-721-4289. 1-800-721-4289. That's 1-800-721-4289.
KDKA traffic and weather together every 10 minutes.
5:35 KDKA all day. AAA traffic powered by Bowser Buick and Bonnie Diver.
Well, we've got those heavy delays yet on the Parkway West inbound from Montour Run all the way down towards the tunnels. Slowdowns on the Parkway East from the Boulevard of the Allies to the tunnels. Still a heavy ride there on the Parkway North from the Mount Nebo Road overpass, heading up towards Wexford from an earlier incident. Your next AAA traffic update at 5:45. This report brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts, Independent Information Center on Bonnie Diver, Pittsburgh's official traffic station, News Radio 1020, KDKA.
Clear sky this evening, but it will be clouding up late tonight, a low of 30, and then the thickening cloud cover tomorrow, but it's a mild day with a high of 50. And then tomorrow night, an intermittent rain and drizzle, low 40. Sunday, breezy and mild with clouds and a couple of showers, a high 54. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Dave Bowers on News Radio 1020 KDKA.
42 degrees, Pittsburgh International.
Do you suffer from pain like joint pain, muscle pain, back pain, or painful arthritis? Then you must listen to this important message. Anatoblock is a breakthrough supplement scientifically proven to quickly and effectively reduce inflammation and get rid of pain. Anatoblock is so effective, we guarantee you'll feel a significant difference in just a few days. Best of all, Anatoblock is now available to try for free. That's right. Call 800-651-6059 now and get out of pain absolutely free. Call today, 800-651-6059.
Who's watching your home when you're not there? It could be a burglar. Burglars prefer to break in when they think no one's home, and no one will stop them. Don't be an easy target for intruders. Protect your home with a free security system monitored by ADT, the leader in home security. Call now and get free hardware, free medical and fire alert, and free activation. It's an $850 value. Call right now and you'll also get 6 free sensors. That's 6 points of protection for free. Just call Protect Your Home, your authorized ADT dealer at 1-800-317-1569. You'll get 24-hour protection, and there's no cost for parts or activation. Call now about a free security system monitored by ADT. Call 1-800-317-1569. $99 installation charge, 36-month monitoring agreement. Package includes 6-door window sensors. Labor charges may apply. Call for terms and conditions to this offer and protect your home license numbers. Call now, 1-800-317-1569.
700-5589.
This is continuing coverage of the tragedy in Connecticut on KDKA.
5:38, I'm Bill Rakoff. Thanks for joining us on a special edition of the KDKA Afternoon News covering the tragedy in Newtown, Connecticut. And as you're hearing, the developments are fast and they are changing. Law enforcement clarifying things that they said earlier and sometimes just, in fact, changing the things that they said earlier. Now getting word that the suspect's mother found dead at a home. We had gotten earlier information that perhaps the mother was a teacher at this school. We're nothing to suggest otherwise at this point, but again, just gives you an idea as they're putting together this stuff. It's awful hard to try to come up with all of the information at once, and we're sure that some of this stuff is going to change. So stay with us here at News Radio 1020 KDKA, and we'll keep you posted throughout the day. Now, in the meantime, we're going to talk a little bit more about the situation and talk about security as it pertains to schools and things like that. We have an expert on the line. We're going to get to him in just a moment. But first, we wanted to welcome to the 84 Lumber Project Professionals Newsline Pittsburgh City Councilman Bill Peduto last night, making it official after what we had suspected for quite some time, a candidate for mayor and councilman. I wish it was under better circumstances, but welcome to KDKA.
Hey, thanks, Bill. And it just from the very beginning, the comments that Bishop Zubik said are right there. I mean, we've been through this a few times in Western Pennsylvania, and you can only imagine the trauma that's happening right now in Connecticut.
You know, I wanted to ask you. We'll talk politics another time, and we'll talk about your issues. And love to have you guys on, especially as the race intensifies. But you just have to focus on this today. You know, and you can't help but imagine this happening in a Pittsburgh City school. I mean, but it's there for the grace of God, go we. And I mean, you wonder, are we ready?
I don't know if anyone is ever ready. I just turned this on and turned on the radio about an hour and a half ago, and the images are so traumatic, and I think of all the different incidents that have happened throughout this country that have involved multiple deaths, and there is nothing that I can think of that even comes close to the innocence of the children and the horrific situation. There are lives that are ruined. I mean, they're the survivors. I'm not talking about the ones who died, but the ones that survived this lives as well. You know, you have to start taking mental health issues in this country very, very seriously. A lot of the times, the warning signs are there for us, and it rarely happens that at some time that somebody says, "I never saw it coming" with them. There are usually multiple warnings that we get. And especially when people are involved with children, you have to take these issues very, very seriously.
You know, and I saw a tweet about that earlier today from somebody. We've got to get to the point where we have to think that if you admit that you have a mental problem and seeking the issue is somehow a sign of weakness.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's like saying that if you have diabetes, you shouldn't see a doctor. Mental illness in many cases is just a chemical imbalance. It can be treated. But the fact is that, you know, the situation in Connecticut is something that we're beyond pointing fingers or even looking at that. As Bishop Zubik was saying, we're going to have to find a way to come together and share what is only can be described as love with the folks that are going to be suffering and needing it. We went through it in Pittsburgh a few years ago when three of our officers were killed. The community came together. We certainly went through it on 3 separate occasions with multiple people being killed, and the community came together. Connecticut is going to be needing help, and the best that we can do right now is send prayers and thoughts to them.
Pittsburgh City Councilman Bill Peduto, and again, we'll have time to talk politics another time, but I wanted to thank you for coming on this afternoon and congratulate you on the announcement and wish you best of luck. We will talk again soon.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you for the time.
KDKA News Time, 5:42. Now also on the 84 Lumber Project Professionals Newsline, I want to welcome in J.P. Hudson from J.P. Hudson and Associates. We wanted to talk a little bit about security, and your service, I know, provides consulting services for a number of industries, including education, on how to prevent and how to deal with these types of tragedies. Mr. Hudson, what's the very first thing that a school district can do looking at this sort of thing and saying, all right, where do we go from here?
Well, there's a few things that people are probably doing right now, and I think one of those things is dusting off their emergency response plans and developing ways to enhance their communications with local responders, i.e. the police departments and that, as well as doing an assessment on their facility as well to determine whether or not they have the right locks in place, right access control systems in place, assessing whether or not they need to have metal detectors, things like that. So just basically dusting off the emergency response plans for contingency planning such as this, active shooter program, and the physical security assessments of the facility themselves.
John Hudson joining us here on KDKA, and you have a slightly bad cell, so if we lose you, we'll try to get you back. But, you know, you look at the school in that area, they had precious little time to react. But as one of our guests, Sam Rosenberg, said earlier today with his company teaching these mitigation things as your company does, there are things that can be done.
Yeah, there are a number of different things that can be done that are low cost and investments to the school systems. I do this quite often for a variety of schools, and budgets seem to be the one of the issues in trying to enhance the overall security of the school. But there are things, like I had mentioned previously, with the dusting off the emergency response plans, getting the local law enforcement